Oh hi. Quito, the capital and also the political, economic and cultural center of Ecuador, is called by the name of the ancient Indian tribe Tuahuel. The second most populated, after Guayaquil, the city of Ecuador. In 1978, Quito and Krakow became the first cities entered in the list of the World Cultural Heritage of UNESCO. Etymology. The city is founded by Spaniards in 1534 on the place of the Indian settlement and called on an ethnonym of the Indian tribe Tuahuel. Geography. Quito is located in a northwest part of South America in an intermountain hollow of the Andes, on the southern volcano's slope of Pichincha, at the height of 2818 m above sea level. The city is in 24 km to the south from the equator. The square of the city is approximately equal to 290 km. Quito is constructed on volcanic ash which instantly absorbs moisture. It complicates development of the majority of plants, typical for Ecuador. Use of territories adjacent to the city by Indians for a cattle pasture in the 15th century led to distribution nowadays in the neighborhood of Quito of undersized bushes with rare and poor forest educations. The fauna of vicinities of Quito is presented by generally some species of reptiles and birds, blood-sucking bats and a small number of mammals. Transport. High-speed bus transport, Red Integrado de Transporte Público, works in the city. His lines cross the city from the north on the south and are divided into 3 sections. The trolleybus, green line in the downtown, the red line in a northeast part and the blue line in northwest. In August 2012 the municipality opened the system of sharing of bicycles BGQ. The International Airport of Quito, Mariscal Sucre, is located in 18 km from the downtown in Tababel's arrival. He began work in 2013, having replaced the old airport which was within the city. Quito is located in subequatorial climatic zone. However, the considerable height of the city above sea level causes lack of a tropical heat there, and the proximity to the equator reduces annual fluctuation of temperature which for all year sticks within +13 to +15 C. However, at the same time the considerable difference between daytime and nighttime temperature is observed. The average annual maximum makes +19 3 C. The average annual minimum makes +9.8 C. In the territory of Quito about 1200 mm of rainfall a year, generally from September to May in the form of downpours drop out. In Quito the rainy season and a dry season are characteristic. The first rainy season lasts from December to March, the second, from June to September. During a dry season the city is open for cold air from the south and during this period sometimes average daily temperature happens about +10 C. On average. Sometimes there are frosts, but snow doesn't happen as during this period there is practically no rainfall. According to a population census of 2005, in Quito there live 1,856,501 persons. Quito, the Ecuador's second city in population size, more inhabitants lives only in the city Santiago de Guayaquil. On national sign the population of the capital of Ecuador is diverse and quite mixed. The 2/5 the population, Indians of Quechua, others 2/5, Spanish Indian Metizes, 1/5, blacks, the remain insignificant share, natives of the European and Asian countries. About 4% of the population are illiterate. Most of the believing population of the city is made by Catholic Christians. Quito was constructed at the end of the millennium and was the capital of the Indian state of Quito, which was conquered about 980 by the people a penalty. In the 15th century he was won by Inca. In 1534 the Captain Sebastian de Belalcázar occupied the territory in which the ancient Indian city was located, and founded on his place the Spanish settlement of San Francisco de Quito. As C.S.T. Leon's chronicler claims, I based in Sebastian de Belalcázar, who became then a governor unto the province Popayan, in name of the Emperor of Don Carlos, our Mr. a Don Francisco Pizarro, the governor and the captain general of the kingdoms of Peru, and provinces New Castle, in a year 1534 from Christmas of our Saviour Jesus Christ occupied in Spaniards. Formerly the city was founded after the second arrival of Belalcázar to Quito by drawing up on December 6, 1534 the Municipal Act. 2 alcalde, 4 regidor and 1 notary were appointed performers of the city authorities. Subsequently the name of the city began to be used in the reduced option. In 1541 to the settlement I was the name city is appropriated. In 1563 in the city the Senate and Royal Audiencia, whose first president was Fernando de Centillion, was founded. With establishment of domination of Spaniards in the capital and the adjacent area, active suppression of Indians which ended with slaveholding establishment began. In 1592, 1765, 1809 there were revolts of the minding Spanish aggressors. On May 29, 1822 the revolt under Simon Bolivar's leadership came to the end with a victory, and one Spanish colony of Quito declared the independence. Then in 1826 I was a part of Great Colombia. In 1830 Ecuador left the Colombian Federation, and Quito became the capital of the neogenic state. In the next decades in the city, as well as in the whole country, there were several military coups. The social and economic situation remained unstable. In 1873 in Quito the Astronomical Observatory, which is in the La Alameda Park, was founded. It is the first national observatory in South America. In 1979 H. Roldós, the president of Ecuador, which stabilized the political atmosphere of the city and enacted the new constitution, came to the power. In 1984-50, Febres Cordio became the president of Ecuador. And the living standards of the population of the capital considerably went down. In the next years the economical and political condition of Quito considerably didn't improve. On April 20, 2005, as a result of another revolt of workers of the city, from country's presidential post Lucio Gutierrez was displaced. In Quito a large amount of traditions and cultures is combined. The city architecture differs in a harmonious interlacing of the Spanish, Dutch and partially Indian style of constructions. The city is located on the hilly area and divided into 3 parts by huge hills. In the central part the colonial old city with the museums and monuments of architecture is located. The southern part of the city mainly focuses dwellings of working class and the industrial enterprises. A northern part, modern Quito, abounds with financial centers, department stores, buildings of banks and expensive housing. In a northern part of the city the international airport of the city of Quito, which is nowadays transferred to Tababel's arrival, was located. In 1978, Quito became one of the first objects entered in the list of the World Cultural Heritage of UNESCO. In a colonial part of the city, many cultural and historical monuments, among which Cathedral of the 17th century, monasteries ornated by a carving and a molding of ancient masters, and also several remarkable secular buildings of the colonial period remained. In churches of San Francisco, San Agustin, La Campagna and Santo Domingo are stored huge collections of ancient statues and pictures. The Church of San Francisco is the biggest colonial construction constructed by Spaniards in the territory of South America. In the downtown, three areas are symmetrized: Plaza Sucre, Plaza Bolivar and Plaza Independencia. Independence Square, with the Palace of the Government, 1747, restored recently. In the 20th century, the northern part of the city was replenished with monuments of already modern architecture. Buildings of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Parliament and huge hotel, Quito, which is one of the most capacious on all South American continent. Quito, Cultural and Education Center of Ecuador. The Catholic University of Ecuador, the Central University of Ecuador, National Women's College of a name on May 24, Women's Teacher Training College, National Political School, the Latin American Center for Training of Journalists, National Academy of Music, the Center of Fine Arts and Choreography works in the city. From the research organizations of the capital, it is possible to allocate Academy of Sciences of Ecuador and Medical Academy. In Quito, the observatory works. The largest book depository of Quito are the National Library, Municipal Library and Library of the Central University. From the museums of the city, it is possible to allocate Museum of the Central University, National Museum of Colonial Art, City Museum of Art and Stories, Museum of Archaeology and Ethnography, Anthropological Museum of Antonio Sanian, Archaeological Museum, Museum of Mineralogy. At the Central Bank of Ecuador, which is one of the most influential banks of the country, there is an art gallery. Cultural life of the capital is supplemented by statements of National Theatre of Sucre. Within the city, 4 park recreation areas are located. The Park of Metropolitical Año has the area of 5.5 km and is the biggest in Quito. There is an east part of the city in the neighborhood with the Olympic football stadium. The Botanical Park of La Carolina is located in a northern part of the capital. In his territory, samples of exotic flora from all South America are collected. In addition, the park abounds with a set of sports grounds. The Elegido Park is on a joint of a northern part of the city with colonial districts, is known first of all for the craft benches, and various exhibitions of art under the open sky. Practically at all seasons of the year is filled by tourists. The La Alameda Park. In the park, the oldest, is located in South America Astronomical Observatory in Quito. In the territory of the park, the monument to Simon Bolivar is located. Nearby there is a small lake, about a possibility of lease of walking boats. In June 2005, for the purpose of involvement of tourists in the city, the line of the Teleférico cableway transporting everyone from the downtown on the southern outskirts to a volcano of Pichincha was started. The survey trip takes place at the height of 4,100 meters. Also in the city there is one of the amusement parks, greatest in South America, having the name Volcano Park. Sports life of the city rotates around soccer. 4 capital commands are submitted in the highest league of the national championship. Games of these clubs draw attention of quite considerable part of the population of the capital.
The most known clubs: the winner of the Cup Libertadores of 2008, the 9-fold champion of the country of Quito, the 13-fold champion, El Nacional, and the 3-fold champion of Deportivo of Quito. Besides soccer, in Quito the volleyball and basketball are cultivated. In Quito it is planned to place the headquarters of the Union of South American Nations. Also far. Write comments. Read comments. Interesting people will tell interesting stories. All of good mood and good luck.